So many buttons. All righty. Well, cool. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Lene Ann Velasquez, and I go by all three names. And the name of the company is Growth Junkie Coaching, and I have so much I want to cover with you guys today. And here's kind of what today looks like in this next hour is, I'm going to tell a little bit about myself. We're going to go through some questions. We're going to go through that. I will have an invitation for you guys to work with me for 4 weeks or somewhere else after that. And then I am willing to stay at the end of the call in an hour and ask any questions that you have, whatever that may be, facilitation or so forth. So very, very quickly about me, because some of you don't know me. I've been in transformational personal work for 32 years now. I am a woman of recovery, clean, sober, eating disorder, the whole shebang. All three of those almost killed me about 32 years ago. Come from corporate America, regional vice president of a mortgage company in my 20s. So I know what it's like to work for corporate. Hit bottom mentally, physically, and spiritually, and left that and went to school and became a holistic health practitioner. And I had my own healing center for about 11 years. And that's very physical work, massage, graduate of the Berkeley Psychic Institute, Reiki healer, back 25 years ago when nobody even talked about energy work because we were so weird back then. And then went into Mary Kay Cosmetics, and a lot of you have met me through that or other way, and spent 22 years in Mary Kay as a top sales director, earning 11 cars and all that. And 3 years ago, I think it was three and a half years ago, it was time to leave Mary Kay and leave my company, my very big organization with my offspring, which was great, and to step in to coaching women, which I was already doing, but the pieces of me that I couldn't do as a director, because I have gifts, I have talents, I'm an energetic being, I'm an empath, most of you are that are going to be on here that I work with, and I just have the ability to look at where people are sticking themselves and where they're stuck and those limitations, and as a director, that just wasn't totally my job. So here we are today with Growth Junkie Coaching. So do me a favor, and in comments, would you write down how long you've known me, if you've taken any classes, or if I'm brand new in your world. And while you're doing that, I want to explain about my mouth. And I know it probably doesn't need explaining, but I'm going to do it anyway, because a lot of you had over 30 people register for the class today. So I'm super stoked about that. And then others will be watching it in the future. I am going through a mouth expansion. They have broke open the roof of my mouth and expanded it because I was having this maxillary thing. So a lot of the girls have been walking through it with me with the phenomenal woman, but it makes me spit and drool a little bit. And I have this big metal plate in the roof of my mouth with 4 screws. So I just wanted to say, if you haven't seen me in a while, my face looks different and my mouth looks different. So that's where I named my last year program, my 3-month ongoing, it was called Expansion Accelerator. So a lot of people work with me in that 3-month group because it was about expansion. So everybody's writing their notes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love that. Okay, so let's get going. If you worked with me before, I always prepare way too much information. And then I also don't really follow it because I follow the energy of the group. And if I read the stuff I wrote, then I've already processed through it. I don't know if any of you are like speakers or teach, that you're just kind of by the wing of it, because that's the energy that's up and present for those who show up. But we are going to talk about what's required to have the most conscious 2023 possible. And I am coming from the perspective of everything is energy. And are you using the energy elements in your vision board? Okay. And like I said, I've been doing vision boards for almost 30 years. I remember my boys were little teeny, and we get our little boards out and cut pictures. And I have watched dozens of women create vision board parties and all of that. And this isn't going to be about how to make a board. It's going to be of what's required to actualize those things on the board. And period. So let's go with that. And God, there's so many places I want to go. What I want you guys to do first is, as we're looking and talking from the energy perspective, is raise your hand who's done a vision board before. Okay. Does anybody still have their old vision board hanging up by any chance? Would you please take it down? Would you please remove it? So I'm also going to use an energetic clearing statement, which is really, really weird. But if you just go with it, a lot of the work we're going to do today is I'm going to ask you to be willing to let go of all the old places that you're holding things, so that you can have a brand new awareness canvas today. So right now, like if you could bring up right now in your head how many vision boards you've done. I mean, I can see pictures of them, okay? I can see pictures of how many, actually, I would say 85% of my boards I manifested. We're going to talk about manifestation, actualization, institutionalization, generation, like all of that's required. And all the places on, look at me, I'm like thinking, and all those boards that have a shitload of judgment on them. Okay, would you now please, I'm just going to do this clearing statement. It's from Access Consciousness, theclearingstatement.com. But would you be willing to just destroy and uncreate all of the energy that's holding that in your memories and your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions, and like uncut it, untether it, and destroy and uncreate all of it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, pobads, and beyonds. This energetic clearing statement, you don't need to get it. You don't need to understand it. You don't need to use it. But what it does is it jacks up the brain. The brain cannot understand what the heck I just said. There's a very long form to it, and it explains it. But where we're coming from with this new vision board that you're creating is coming from a place of question, not from a place that you have functioned before. Okay, so let me see. I might put myself as a speaker and have you guys above me. No, that's not going to work. Okay, let's go back to gallery. Okay, so write down, now that we've kind of looked at like, oh my God, all these memory vision boards and so forth. There are different words that we call these boards. So write down vision board, goal poster, dream board, intention board, to-do list board, and digital board, and my asks board. And if you can't understand me, let me know. Asks, A-S-K-S. Okay, so one of
Please repeat, Lene, please repeat those again.
Yes. Vision board, intentional board, goal poster, dream board, or my asks board, or anything else you might call it. Okay. Our points of view create our reality. So energetically, our points of view create a reality. So whatever points of view you guys have on what those things are, would you destroy and uncreate those? Let that go so that we can create a space for you guys to create that's light. Okay, I'm going to talk about light and heavy energy. So when you look at those, which one of those is the lightest for you? Like you look at it and you're like, that's what I want to call it. That's what I want to call it. Holler out. Which one's the heaviest for you?
I like dream board.
Okay.
Intentional board doesn't sound so great for me.
Okay, cool. Is dream board the lightest one for you? Yes or no?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Okay. Shelley likes dream. Heaviest is goal. Cool. Anybody else?
I like vision.
You like vision? Okay. And the gist here is there's nothing that's, none of them are right and none of them are wrong. None of them are good and none of them are bad. What I want you to be in the space of like, if I'm going to create whatever this is, what's going to be light for me? Okay. The ask board. Yay, that's the #1 winner for me. And the reason I say asks is we're going to talk about, I have a group that is called 30 Days of Change, and it's been going on as a membership, and 5 days a week, we pick a topic and we work on it and we clear it and we clear it. And we have been asking and receiving we're on day 25. And what you put on this board, or whatever that is, let's just play with that, is an ask. It's an ask. And I never looked at it that way many, many years. It was like, this is what I want, and I'm going to work my butt off until I make it happen. And I made them all happen for the most part. I almost killed myself, but I did it. So I just like to introduce the word ask. Ask and you shall receive. Okay. And like I said, we've been working on this for 25 days. So there's a lot to this, but there is no right or wrong with your board. Okay. So now we kind of know what's heavy or light. Goal. What would it be like if you remove the word goal from your world just for a little bit and you use the word target? I started teaching about this a long time ago, and with my organization back then, is because our points of view create our reality. Okay, so we all have these points of view of what a goal is and a goal isn't. And goals can be completed or not completed, or they have a ton of judgment around them. Words are my favorite thing because words carry so much energy on them. And if you don't ask yourself what's light, you can get yourself so stuck that you can't create with ease. So there was just a tremendous amount of download there of energy. Hold on. What was it? What was that? Oh, goal and target. That was fun. A goal. Who's ever set a goal and it hasn't happened? All right, cool. Would you just try and create all of your projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections attached to that? Please, would you cut that? Would you release that tether times a godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys, POVEDs, and beyond? If you drag what it is that you didn't do into this, it gets really heavy. And so when you had a goal and you didn't finish it, you have all these points of views and you have these thoughts, feelings, and emotions attached to them. One of the things with the way that I coach, I facilitate change in people's lives. You guys are going to energetically be changed because you showed up here. And goal versus target, which one's lighter when you say goal or target? Target or a goal poster? Shout out.
Target.
Target.
Target's lighter.
Yeah.
Target's definitely lighter.
Okay. So maybe you had never even heard of Target. I understand that once you look at the word goal and you like take the heaviness out of it and you destroy and create all that past stuff, you can use the word because it's now become your word, not everybody else's words. Okay. If you're an empath and you're a leader, you are also attached to everybody else's goals that you are working with. So would you now please be willing to separate from that? Like, what would it be like to not be carrying everybody's goals as your responsibility? Okay. You're all, yeah, you all are in some type of leadership business, well, always right here. So that's a whole nother conversation. But it does pertain to that because if you're choosing target, your target board, your asks for target, which is kind of light, a target is forever moving. It's constantly moving. A goal has, and this is just my point of view in the way that I coach, is that if you don't hit that target, you get to move it and you keep moving it. I do understand that there are goals, end dates that happen in our business. When you're earning a car or you're up leveling and all that, there are end dates that are required for you to finish. I get that. But if you are like, what's your target for today? One of the questions, because we function from questions here. Let me see, is everybody muted out? Yeah. One of the, I think it's Kim, let me mute her really quick. We function from question. So what if you started your day every day with this question, as simple as it may be, is what, and I wrote a few of them down to make sure. Just for today, I will be greater than I was yesterday. Isn't that light? Just for today, I will be greater than I was yesterday. Just for today, I will be greater than I was yesterday. And be that energy. And it's on my desk here. Just for today, I will be greater. Doesn't say better. It says greater. And greater for me is about expansion. And there's no judgment there. Okay, so that's a question to ask as you're turning this vision board into a reality and you're looking at it going, whatever. And you look at all your vision board, goal poster, ask board. We're just going to call it the ask board. Has anybody ever looked at it and it's like a to-do list? Okay, what does that create in your world? Who likes a to-do list? Okay. So this is just consciousness. It's like, okay, what is my board creating? How does it make me feel when I look at it? My point of view of what a board or new ask board is that what it does create is say you make it. I don't care if you make it or you don't make it. I have little pieces of paper that I do that I create with, but it reprograms the brain so it has something new to look at. That's why if you have an old board, get rid of it. Okay. I'm also not a huge fan of doing a board for a year and then being stuck to it kind of thing. Because if you are becoming greater every day and you've decided that you have to make these things happen on the board, what if the universe has a billion times better than what you've put on your board? Okay. And again, hear me, that there's no right or wrong, but it's just awareness with this. What I do is I just did this last week. I do this little paper thing. Like right now, I want, and I will get this cool workout treadmill thing for Max and I. And once that's done, I throw it away. And what else is it that I'm asking for? And then I want to buy him this chair so that he has a nice chair, because I'm constantly creating. So if I had a board, I would already be done with that board in a month. Okay. Or I look at the board and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to choose that anymore. That's like so not in alignment with what I'm doing right now. So I don't know. But if you had that and it was kind of, if you really want to do a board, it was something you gave yourself to have space with, that you did one every quarter. Okay. And who's had a vision board goal poster and it hung in the same spot for a year and you never even noticed it was there? Because I think what is it like? They say you only see it so many times until all of a sudden you don't even notice it's there. Okay, so just another thought. Maybe you like the one you have, or you're going to create one. What would it be like to move it around at least once a month? Okay. Okay, it's like a picture on the wall. Eventually, you don't even notice it's there anymore. So that's what a vision board, ask board is. It just lets the brain look at something different. Okay. one of the biggest things is when we go to this place of what we did do. Okay, here's so many different places I can go with this. I am a facilitator where I work with people beyond the words. So what that means is it's the energy, it's the consciousness. So we do a lot of mindset work, and you wouldn't be here if you weren't a mindset person. But mindset has a lot to do with thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Okay, cool. Okay, I did a lot of that in my thoughts, in my feelings, and in my emotions. I'm going to throw something out to you guys that you may blow your world, or you're already familiar with it. About 99% of our thoughts, feelings, and emotions don't belong to us. Okay, so cool. I see shaking the head. So you're in the right call right now then with me. So if it's like, okay, because our point of view creates our reality. Here's what I saw a lot as a director. Was people would put on their vision boards what they thought I wanted them to accomplish. It's one of the reasons I needed to move on to something else, because I also intuitively knew they were never going to create that. And I already knew that they now set themselves up for a loss. Okay, again, not my job as a director, but as a coach now, I can say, well, wait a minute. Number two, what is your ask? And the biggest part is that no one looks at it is, can you actually even receive what it is that you're asking for? Bam. That's like the huge element part of any of this, is that you can put whatever you want on that board, but if you are not capable of receiving it based on your points of view, you can't until we clear it. I mean, you can, because I have done that, but it wasn't with ease. Okay. I have done trauma, drama, struggle, survival, all of that, like a lot, until I started using more and more of my energetic tools to, like, I don't want to function that way anymore. I want to be able to do it with ease. So, I know I was on a point there, and then I went all over the place. Where was I? Where was I? Somebody.
Are you
Can I
capable of
receive
receiving?
what I'm asking for?
Receive what I'm asking for, and what else? There was
Is
something.
what your ask something that you're capable of receiving?
Something. Okay, so we kind of went with that flow. Okay, so mindset work, thoughts, feelings, and emotions. If you're functioning from there, it's really heavy. And so that's where question comes in when you're doing a board or an ask, is if you put up on that board, how many put money on their board? Nobody's put money on their vision boards before? Just me? Okay, like you put a number on there, and that you've decided that if you hit that number, somehow you will be successful, right?
I just put like a picture of money. I didn't actually put a number.
Okay.
We
Okay.
talked about that in when we did the last vision board I did, it was a while ago. And I remember us saying, don't put a dollar amount. Just if you're looking for money, then put some kind of symbol for that.
Perfect.
Not a specific dollar amount. So
Exactly.
that works for me.
Because that was light. So
Yeah.
I've done like, this is the number, and then let me strategize the crap out of it. I used to be an over strategizer. Like, I'm surprised that things actually created themselves. And it made me sick when I look back at that, because I was not in the flow of the energy. I was not in flow of what I was aware of. I was not flow. Well, I was, but I wasn't willing to actually acknowledge it. So I know I'm popping all over the place here. So let me backtrack a little bit. So whatever it is that your ask, which is what we've been doing, are you willing to receive it? This is the clearing that we've been doing in the Phenomenal Woman. And just be with it for a second. We've really had some energy. What are you absolutely refusing to ask for? that if you would ask for it and receive it, it would change all of your realities and all of your realities. And everything that doesn't allow that would you destroy and uncreate all the energy that's holding that in place. Right and wrong, good and bad, POD POC, all nine shorts, boys, POBADs, and beyond. So let me read it one more time, because you got this thing that you want, right? Can you truly receive it? And this has been the biggest growth for me over these last 3 years, is everywhere I couldn't receive anything. And every time we judge ourselves, we cut off from receiving. So that was the killer for me over these past 4 years of another level of discovery, is like, I have the judgment queen hat. I sometimes say, I mean, the judgment, whether I accomplished it or I didn't accomplish it, the judgment I have on that I had on my body, and all of that. Every time I have judgment, it cuts off my receiving. So if you kind of like that, let that percolate into your world, and like, oh my gosh, I've judged myself there, I've judged myself there, I've judged myself. Just have that new awareness of like, yeah, what would it be like to not judge myself there? So what are you absolutely refusing to ask for? That if you would ask for it, step 1, and receive it, step 2, it would change all of your realities and give you too much money, wealth, and abundance. And everything that doesn't allow that, all the thoughts, feelings, and emotions, would you POC and POD that? Okay. POC and POD in very simple forms. You can say POC and POD to everything. POC and POD, my points of view of that. POC and POD energetically means at all these times in our life, especially
Hello.
past boards,
How are you?
past boards, hold on.
Oh, Melissa, that.
It's Kim. There we go. Every time in the past where you've had a thought and feeling and emotion about something, and then you judged it, then right now you're trying to recreate it and you have so much judgment on it, you now can't receive it. So we POC and POD. It's the funniest thing. Point of creation means the point of creation, the moment when you decided you wouldn't receive something, have something, judge something. Remember those things, I will never, have you ever said, I'll never, never, ever do that? Right? That moment, it's a point of creation in your world, and everything that you're asking for. The POD moment is that point of destruction, where energetically you've cut off from receiving. And I'm really going to very deeper levels of this, but you're probably getting it just when it comes to that board, that if you have said, well, this is, God, there's so many things to that. Whatever it is that you're putting on there, consciously asking the question, if I put this up here, what will it create? And we always say, what will it create in the next 5 years? And the reason I say that with clients is because the brain cannot plan that far out. It normally plans in just like monthly increments, yearly increments. So it's just something to play with. If I choose this, will it create greater for me in 5 years? If I don't choose this, will it create greater for me in 5 years? So that's kind of a heavy, light, energetic tool that you can use on your board and everything in your life. If I choose this, will it create something? If I don't choose it, will it create something? And then that's where, okay, we talked about target and goal. And then the other word that I want to talk about also is the word choice and decision. You're going to always hear me say, choice. What is it that you're choosing? Again, several years ago, I didn't even know I had choice. I just knew I had to do it. It had to get done, and I would do it no matter what. That's just how I functioned. Today, I now have a little bit more awareness that that still was a choice, but there was no like space around it. Like there was no, it was like not expanded. So when you are creating this, anything, everything, it's a choice. Anytime we make a decision, and oh my God, I grew up with, and especially in network marketing, for me, it was cut off all options. Make a decision. And again, there's no right or wrong with that, but it's the word choice or decision, which one's heavy, which one's light. Okay. Decision cuts off all possibilities. Now, it does. Now, can you create beyond that? Of course. But does it sound easy? So it's choice. If I choose this, will it create? If I put that up on my board, will that create something? Okay, cool. And then we get to go into the institutionalizing of it. Okay, I don't even know if we're going to get to that part, but we might. So choose. And I will always bring that to my attention with my clients, and you can bring it with yours when they're like, I've decided that's what I'm going to do. What if we just keep choosing? And then choice, if you learn to do it more, you'll learn not to judge your choice. Because decision, the only thing you can do with decision is judge yourself. Because you either did or you didn't. And this is how we get wrapped up in limitations and beliefs, and we can't receive. And every time we have a clearing that I use is we did it this morning, and it was all of it, we call it Pez Juniors, all of your projections and expectations that you have. The only thing you can do when you have a projection and expectation of something energetically is judge it, separate from you, and reject yourself. That's what we do. That's what the energy of things do. So you have this projection on your board. I keep trying to make sure I bring it back to the board. You have the projection that this is what you're going to do. So now it's a projection and an expectation, right? And you've decided you're going to do everything you can. Projection and expectation has no space for expansion. It only has this space. If I don't do that, then I need to reject myself. I need to judge myself, and I need to separate from myself. And how many times did you or I or whatever, I had to pull women out of the place that they decided to do something, they didn't do it, and all they were into was the projection and expectation. And then they were a big pile. And then it took all this energy to pull them back up. So what would it be like if you don't have a projection and expectation, but you continue to have choice? If I choose this, will it create something? If I choose this, will it create something? Does anybody have any questions right now? Because I am aware I'm popping around a little bit, but are you following? Any questions? No, we're good? Okay, I'm going to trust that.
No, I'm going to jump in.
Yeah, please.
Because I've had things popping. One was I realized something new that I've been unwilling to receive.
Okay.
And if I'm unwilling to receive that, then I won't be able to have the vision, have the expansion that's required, right? So I had an aha on that. Can I receive what I'm asking for? So I had a new on that. And then on choice, I just had this kind of frack open when you were saying it that way. When we keep choosing like what's on the board or what's in the picture or whatever it is that we choose to create, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I will tell you that in our and I'm sure for all of us, right? We know that there are certain IPAs, income producing activities, right? There are certain activities that we can do at different times, right? Through the day, through the week, through the month, that will produce expansion and more choice as we receive, right?
Yes.
And so one of the things that I just, because I've looked at it as a checklist, I literally have a whiteboard that has daily, weekly, monthly, with
Okay,
my checklist.
okay,
But I just had this aha of like, would that be like the two things in my world that I resist, however, I know have the most impact for expansion? Is
okay,
that something that I could continue, like I could put that in front of me, those two IPAs? If I put that in front of me, it kind of goes back to that. What if I chose to be greater today in that area than I was yesterday?
okay, okay,
Like, is it like, I know that like, that's not a dream, right? Like that's an IPA. But like, it's never dawned on me to put those two words in front of me.
okay. Would everybody please, if you know what an IPA is,
Oh,
an
sorry.
income producing activity, and everywhere you suck at IPAs, would you please destroy and uncreate the points of view attached to whether you're good or bad at an IPA? Right, wrong, good and bad, pod, poc, all 9 shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. There's nothing wrong with it. But I know when she said IPAs, you guys pulled up all the energy about what an IPA is or what an IPA isn't. And from that moment, energetically, you could not create beyond that with ease. So thank you for just pinging that. And now that we've gone there, it's like, okay, IPA. If an IPA, okay, Dara, ask me a question around that. This is how I facilitate it. It's not a problem, but we look at the question. So give me a question out of that so I can see if I can facilitate.
Okay. So the question is, now that I see that as choice for greater,
Okay,
would it serve my choice of expansion and being ready to receive more of that, to put those, for me, it's two things. So
Okay.
for me to put those two options in
choices.
front of me as
Mhm.
part of my
truth.
vision for expansion.
Truth, would that create more for you? Yes or no?
As long as it's from choice, yes. But
Okay,
as
so
soon as I go into judgment, no.
that's what, okay, so everything that was, you see how she went, when we ask a question of truth, and then you either will pop up with this quick awareness. You see how she hesitated? She went, so there was a limitation, and then she literally went into judgment of it. So we pull you back. So she works with me and has for several years now. So she knew how to stop it. So ask yourself, ask the question, blah, blah, blah. Truth. If you choose what it is that you are asking me right now, will that create greater for you? Yes or no?
Yes.
What was the part that you went into judgment of?
That I don't like those things because they're not easy for me, because it causes me to think. And when I go to that place, I freeze.
Okay, so
However,
everything that is, I'm going to destroy and uncreate that with you everywhere you decided and all the points of view you have about whether right it's hard or not, because you're pulling that up from the past. Would you be willing to destroy and uncreate that? Just barriers down, right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 9 shorts, boys, povads, and beyond, clearingstatement.com if you need to look that up again. And if you're doing it now from a different place of choice with who you are, is it lighter? Can it be lighter?
ask me that again.
I don't know if I can. Because everything changed already. Destroy and create. So if you choose those two things, now is it lighter? Is it lighter than it was before when you decided they were hard?
It's lighter
Cool.
because I see it as choice now, and
Cool.
it will create greater. It
There
will
you go.
create so much greater
There you
that
go.
I am now willing to receive, that I've understood the consciousness side of it.
Got it. Okay. There, that's called facilitation. And I know that's weird. I just had a call with Karen last week. She does 2 calls with me a week. And in 13 minutes, right, Karen? We together shifted so much in her world. I do a lot of 30-minute facilitation calls because 30 minutes can change everything. an hour, you go into the story. So anyway, just that. So thank you, Dara. That was fun to facilitate. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so there are, so what is it? Okay, what is it that you're willing to what is it that you're absolutely refusing to ask for? That if you were willing to ask for it and receive it, it would change all of your realities. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod poc, all 9 shorts, boys, pobads, and beyond. Since we've been doing that in the Phenomenal Woman, I'm not even sure what it is that I desire. Now I have another class we can do for free, and it's called Words Are Powerful, because words are so powerful. Now, one of them is want. Anytime you say want, energetically, the word creates lack. Okay, so it's not that you can never not use the word want again, but now that you're conscious, now that I've told you that, and you can look at that, want, if you look it up in the dictionary, old form, it means lack. So every time you say I want, guess what you're creating? Lack. How many times have you wanted money? Oh my God. And it's a lack puddle. And it just keeps creating the circle of lack. So you can say it now that you have a little bit more awareness on it. That's consciousness. It's the word we use is desire. What is it that you truly desire? And sometimes I don't know what that is for me, but I do know right now I'm just asking for what's expansive. What's expansive for my business? And again, we're not going into all that because your business is another element. It's an actual energy itself. It has a life of its own. But I do ask the energy of my business, what does it require? What does it desire? Okay, so when we throw something up on a board, there's no right or wrong with it. That just brought up a whole bunch of stuff. Hold on, let me look at the energy of that really quick. That's interesting. That could just be a whole thing. When we put something up on a board, are we asking for us or are we asking the business of what it requires? Okay. There's a lot of layers in that, so I probably won't go there, but I just looked at that. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to pass on that. So what is it that you're absolutely refusing to ask for? And if you would ask for it, and if you don't even know what it is, what is it that I'm willing to ask for? I mean, it can be a question. Questions create answers. We always say questions empower, answers disempower energetically. We're always looking for the answers. We are in the world of answers, but answers do not create consciousness. They, they can get me, who else is, that, so asking the question, what is it that I'm willing to receive? That's a great question. And what is it that I'm not willing to receive? That if I was willing to receive it, whatever I put on my board, it would change all of my realities. Here's the thing, this is what we've been talking about, is receiving isn't blocked, it's refused. And again, I can go in so many different directions with it. So you put your stuff up on your board, on your ask board, your vision boards, and you put it up there. And I can speak to it from my experience. I can speak to money because money was always my story. Was my weird story. So I would put this money thing up there, like this is what I wanted, this is what success meant. So let's destroy and uncreate right now what success is and what success isn't for you. Whatever it was, destroy and uncreate it, hawk and pod that energy, let it go. And what is it today? And just for today, I will be greater than I was yesterday. Because if you have a point of view of what success is, you're going to bring it into 2023. If you have a point of view of what somebody else's point of view of what somebody else's point of view of what somebody else's point of view of what success is, and you're trying to get it, you won't get it because it doesn't belong to you. Okay, so just trying to create all your points of view of what success is and what success isn't for you. Again, that is a whole nother place we could go to when you actually are willing to get conscious about what it is that you actually desire versus what you actually think you should be doing. Okay, I'm all over the place here. Receiving isn't blocked, it's refused. So my money story has really kind of unfolded over the last few years as I've done more and more energetic work instead of mindset work, because if the mindset work could get me to that, because I'm like the queen of mindset work. I mean, I've been doing it for 30 years. If my mind could have gotten me there, it would have already gotten me there, like a billion times over. And then I had to really look at all the places I was refusing money. And it is fascinating. And again, that's where coaching comes in with me, with somebody else energetically, and we go below the thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and we go to those places we are blocking it. So how does this have to do with like the whole vision board? Is you're putting up things. Are you clear on what it is that you're asking for that's going to create something greater? Are you asking for things from the present time? Because if you pull up the past, did you know you can only create a little bit further than what your mind can expand from? I want you to expand to greater possibilities beyond what you even thought was imaginable when we are creating from energy. That's why my group is called the Phenomenal Woman. And because phenomenal is not ordinary, it's not extraordinary, it's phenomenal. Phenomenal is beyond what we can put into words. It's beyond, it's unlimited possibilities. So just like with that, anything that's not coming into your world with ease, ask, where am I refusing this? Ugh, wow. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod, poc, all 9 shorts, boys, pobeds, and beyond. Most people don't choose consciousness, by the way. You're a brave group here right now, okay? Consciousness is opening up on the planet in a way that it's never been seen before. And I don't mean to be too woo-woo on that or whatever, but it's really what's happening. So, and for empathetic people and energetic people, it's like, this is time to expand beyond what you ever thought was possible. So what if you embraced more and more energy tools, heavier light, who does it belong to, interesting point of view, there's so many, and I have videos I can send on those to you, to create bigger than what your thoughts and your feelings and emotions can. You know, your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So you put up on your board something. Here's why most of my stuff manifested. And I don't want to use the word manifest. I want to use the word actualize. Okay. We get really confused with the word manifest. And again, there's no right or wrong, but manifestation is not what's happening. It's actualizing. Manifestation is how it shows up, not that it shows up. We get really goofy on that. And it's okay. It's okay. But what we're looking for is how do you actualize stuff? So we're putting those things on the board. Let me go before, hold on. I have that in front of me while we're on the energy. So that at least you get a taster of that. There are elements that are required to make that vision board come into reality. And those elementals of energy are, like when you say, I'm going to create something, create is a word of action. Okay, create. I am a massive creator. I love to create programs. I love to create things. But if I spend my whole time creating and not actually putting the energy of asking what's required to actualize it, I will be, what did we used to call that in Mary Kay? Creative avoidance. Okay, creative, I don't know where that just came from, except for I'm talking to a bunch of Mary Kay people. Creative avoidance is at creation mode, and it's required. So, but what's also required is generation. No one's ever talked to me before about being the energy of generation. That's an energy. Like, what do you generate? In what energy, space, and consciousness can my body and I be today to generate and actualize a whatever that is, whatever it is that you want. So what energy can I be? What space can I be? What consciousness can I be to generate, create, manifest, and physically actualize a expansive business with total ease? And those are the questions that I ask my business every day. And it's a weird question. But from there, I have a lot of question there. I don't know, what would it take? What energy can I generate? Can I take care of myself today? Can I eat well today? That's a generative energy. Okay. Create, what do I need to do today? Who do I need to call? And that's called instituting it. And this is where most people fall right here, is the institution of things. And that's my freaking thing that I love to do. But you have somebody who says, this is where they're at, and they have a goal, which we're now going to call it a target. And it's this middle part, the instituting of it, that's required. And that's where you coach them to that, or I teach you how to energetically bring that into your world. And then manifestation is, I don't know how it's going to show up. I just trust it will. And when it does, it's actually actualized. Okay. Again, you can use whatever words. It doesn't matter, because you're being conscious of it. And what I wanted to say, oh my God, we're almost at 1. So the energies are: generation is the idea stage. Creation stage is what creates in this physical reality. And instituting and maintenance is required after that. And it says institution is the step that most creative types tend to resist the most. I freaking love that part. Everybody's different. And then manifestation. But I also can get stuck there, which is why I will pull up that I have a hard time asking for people to work for me and work with me and be part of my team, because I will not let go of control. So anybody that pings for anybody, what would it be like? And that's what I asked my business. What would it be like to create more ease in my business? What's required here? And what's required for my business to expand on my board or whatever is to be willing to ask for help and then actually receive it. But I constantly refuse it. Even when it comes to my door and says, I'd like to work with you, I find out every reason of why I'm going to refuse it. So, okay. So, there's so much more, but I think we did talk about some of the things. There's so much. My head's like, whoa. I will invite you guys to, I put together a 4-week course, and it looks like this. It's called Actualize Your Asks for 2023. It's 4 weeks. And what we're gonna clear these limiting beliefs, the points of view. We're going to clear the energy around what it is that you're asking for. It doesn't have to be 2003. It can just be like what it is that you're currently asking for. We're going to talk about, I have a book I put together, Actualizing Step by Step. Actualizing, okay? Setting your target. I have a daily checklist I put together, a group Telegram, and really focusing, what are your capacities to receive? And what if we could expand that beyond what you thought was possible in 4 weeks? And I have priced this at a super low price. And I follow the energy on that. For 4 weeks, I am pricing it for you guys who are on this call for only $123. That would normally be a course that I would charge at least $300 for. And over the last couple of years, I've probably taught about 40 classes. give or take, plus my ongoing 12-week. So if you choose that and you would like to learn about how to ask more, I seriously am only pricing at $123. And if you don't have all of that at one time, you can make it in 2 payments. Okay. So with that, we will also can do the words class for free. I will send that out to you. Questions will create what it is that you manifest. And we know that. And the way that I will teach you. I'm just looking to make sure some of the things, not a to-do list. One of the most powerful things that you can walk away with today is to choose more consciousness in your world. If you want more of that and you're not sure how to do it, that's what I'm here for. Sorry, that wasn't what I was supposed to read. Let me explain consciousness ever so quickly, and then I'll end. And then we can stay after and ask any questions. Consciousness in the access world, which is a lot of the energetic tools, is everything exists and nothing is judged. And everything in this world is judged. So we're going to learn how not to judge ourselves. But the fun way to describe consciousness is the cutest example is a conscious person and unconscious person walk into a room, and the goal is to get to the target is to get to the other side of the room. And there are so many obstacles in the way, so many. So a unconscious person walks into the room, and they're pretty good at making things happen, but they hit every obstacle along the way. It's hard, it's heavy, it's painful, and all of that, all the obstacles, all that, but they do get to the other side. Okay. They get to the other side. Now I forgot to say that this room is dark, so there's all this stuff in the way. So they get there. A conscious person looks around and says, you know what, I'm going to turn the light on first. And then I'm going to go to the places and look at the things that are required to get to that place. So a conscious person is somebody who is willing to look at what it is that they're choosing. They're willing to look at what they're creating, because wherever you are in your life right now, you've created it. Period. So in my past, it was a creation of some wild stuff I had created. So I always know if I can create that much, drama, trauma, whatever, imagine if I shifted my energy to actually creating greater for myself. So that's kind of a fun way when somebody says, what is consciousness? It's like, turn the lights on, turn the lights off. But a lot of people choose to keep the lights off, and that's okay. Okay. Or we turn the lights on and off, on and off, on and off, and that's okay too. But it's cool if I could continue to introduce into your world extra tools to keep those lights of consciousness on. So 5 million other things I would love today to talk to, but that's kind of where I'm going to end. Do's and don'ts. We talked about consciousness. We talked about tools. We talked about questions. We gave examples and an invitation to play with me for the next 4 weeks. And if you have any more questions about the Phenomenal Woman community, which is for people who really want to change, because we do lives 5 days a week and they're only about 10 minutes, but it creates massive change. Okay, so with that, I'm going to end the recording. Now I'll just keep it going because I don't want to jack anything up. You have me right now. You can leave. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining, or you can listen to a little bit of facilitation. And if you have any questions, I'm open. I am here right now for you.
I wish I could stay on longer, but I do have another call to go to. But thank you, Lene. This was amazing.
Wonderful.
That's
Thank you.
amazing. It's good to see you too. Beautiful.
You
It's been
too. You
way
too.
too long.
I know it has been. So thank
Yes.
you. All righty.
And how do we sign up for that 4-week course?
Thank you for asking. You will get an email that will have that invite to sign up for that. And then you'll also get the recording. Okay.
I
So
also have,
like the rest of the day, it's almost put together, and then I'll put it out in the email to you.
does that also have like a way to like do like a free consultation with you for your other things?
Yes, and yes, and yes. We'll make it all, everything's possible.
Perfect. All right. I just wanted to
Okay.
make sure. And
Yes.
you have to run, but thank you again. And I look forward to that email and going from there.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye. Bye. Okay, anybody else have any questions for me? You got me.
Lene, I gotta go too, so I'll check in with you later.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Okay, anybody else? Any questions? Any questions on something that's stopping you, a limitation? Any questions about anything that came up? And if you don't, that's totally okay.
Hey, Lene, it's Sandra. How are you?
I'm good, Sandra. How are you?
I'm good. So, this has been really, really great. And I guess I'm just kind of wondering, I mean, it just feels like there's been like a shift in what I want to do. Like what I wanted to do, 6 months ago is like absolutely nothing that I want to do now. It's so weird.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let me offer you some coaching right there. Would you please be willing, this is for everybody, destroy and uncreate your relationship with your job and everything that it was. It's truly important that every morning, if you choose to wake up and destroy your relationship with everything. And what that means, I know when someone introduced that to me, I'm like, what? What it means is energetically we're functioning here. Today, we're here. So it destroying and creating all the limitations that were yesterday to the space of like, so destroy and create your relationship with that business, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod, poc, all 9 shorts, boys, poveds, and beyond. Would you all please destroy and uncreate your relationship with money up until yesterday or today? All the points of view, all the limitations, all the projections, all the expectations. Cut those, the tethers, the points of views, right and wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all 9 shorts, boys, poveds, and beyond. Okay, Sandra, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted you to start destroying and uncreating all of those past reference points.
No, I mean, that's great. Cause I feel like I'm in a totally different place. I just don't
Yay.
know. Yeah. I mean, I'm really kind of excited,
Yeah,
but then it's kind of like, okay, well, now what? So,
okay,
it just feels like kind of like a clean slate. And I kind of this process started, becoming more evident in the fall. And so
Okay.
now it's just kind of like, well, gosh, now what do I do?
okay.
So this has been really great to kind of, like the goal poster thing.
Mhm.
I'm like, this just makes so much sense,
Cool.
to get out of that judgment and to, ask for things and be willing to accept things. So I love all that. So now
Okay.
it's just a matter of, well, what direction do I go in now? So
Okay, so let me ask you, is that a question or a conclusion?
a question.
Okay, so everything that was, because it took you a few minutes, POC and pod, what would it be like? Everywhere you've decided you have to pick the right thing for what it is that you do next, would you destroy and uncreate that, please?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so because we all do that, we have a point of view. Now I have something new. What's next? And then we go into this place of like, I better choose the right thing. No, that's no choice. You decide of maybe what it is that you have to do, but there's no question there. So a question to leave you with is, what can I choose today to get me closer to what it is that I'm looking at? Question. What is it today that I can ask? What is it today? I'm trying to give you, hold on, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all 9 shorts, boys, poveds, and beyond. Everywhere that, even the question is, everywhere that I have to decide what it is that I'm going to do now and get it right. That's what I think that's what I'm looking at when I look at the energy of that for you.
Yes.
Because heaven forbid you screw up again.
Exactly.
And everything that is, would you destroy and uncreate everywhere that you have screwed up? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod, poc, all 9 shorts, boys, poveds, and beyond. Now that's just a point of view that you've screwed up, but everything that you're going to do from this point on, until you clear that, you're going to do everything to avoid screwing up again.
Right.
And screwing up is just a lie. It's a point of view. So if you were to create from the space of total ease, joy, and glory, what would that be? That's my question for you. What would it be like to create something with ease, joy, and glory? And I know it's a very simple question, but that question will change your everything.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I just want something that's light. I don't want the heaviness.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm just desiring like a lighter, more joyful life instead of the whatever it is now.
Yeah, cool. Well, you know, I'd always love to work with you. You and I have done a lot of on and off things, but if you want a couple calls to open up the space of what it is that's possible for you that you maybe haven't looked at yet, I'm available.
I will contact you.
Okay, cool, 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 cool,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, thank you.
Thanks. This has been great.
Great, thank you. Anybody else?
Lene, I just want to say thank you so much. I mean, we are brand new to each other, so I'm
Yes.
having a lot of emotion right now
Okay,
and a lot of thoughts. So I don't know that I even have a question to articulate. I just kind of have
Okay.
to do this. But I appreciate you so much. This was
Oh, thank
really,
you.
really good. I'm like, you know, when your emotions get so high, that's kind of where I'm at.
tell me if you would like, tell me what are those emotions? Because
little-
emotion, go ahead.
A little fear.
Okay,
I don't know that awareness can be an emotion, but I'm feeling, I'm like really feeling it, like how the things that I've refused to accept, that's a big thing for me, and
okay,
refused to ask for
okay.
that kind of, again, I don't know exactly if that's awareness or what that is, but
So truth, is that awareness, yes or no?
I don't know.
Okay, and I know you don't because you didn't know how to answer that. Hold on. So everything that doesn't allow you to know what it is that you know, and you probably haven't had a lot of space in your life to actually follow what it is that you know. So that's where sometimes when we start this new journey of consciousness at an energetic level, we're just like, holy moly, I have known what I know, but I'm not choosing what it is that I know it. That's what I do with women, is empowering you to know what it is that you know and know it. And because we're all very intuitive, aware people, but we had to shut it down. And so right
Have you guys lost her? Or is that me? Okay.
She's gone.
Okay.
through the computer. There we go.
Okay.
Okay, cool. I was saying energy plays with computers.
There it goes.
It's very dynamic what energy will do. So, Michelle, did you hear anything what I said about?
I did not. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'm going to leave it just to the space of acknowledging you, that today you got in touch with a little bit more of your awareness that you haven't been choosing.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
We have 24 what we call energetic distractors, and one of them is fear. And the way they have huge explanations of what they create, but anytime we pull up an energetic distractor, fear, it cuts us off from the power and the potency that we are. Period. It just, so if I'm facilitating, we're going to go not to the feelings and the words, we're going to go what's underneath that. That if you actually chose what it is that you're aware of, what would that create? And then we work it from there. And then we have to go, well, if I create that, can I actually receive it? and then all the points of view that come up with receiving something.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure. Okay, anybody else? Karen, you're always so good at clearing. Is there anything on your ask list right now?
What if we don't make a board and we just have a daily ask?
What if you don't have a board and you have a daily ask? What if you don't?
Maybe the board itself is heavy.
Is the board heavy? Yes or no?
Yes,
Okay, so what's lighter for you?
a daily ask.
Okay, very cool. See, what Karen just did was the acknowledgement of what she knows. But maybe she heard a point of view that said, if you don't do a vision board, then you're not going to get what you want. Okay, but she's too aware to know, well, now she's aware to know what tools, and she asked a question of like, is the vision board heavy? Yeah, but I can ask every day. Yeah, and is that going to create more? So the points of view of doing a vision board that you've decided that if you don't do one, you won't get what you want, would you just try and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good and bad, POC, POC, all nine shorts, boys, co-eds, and beyond. What would it be like to make a vision board that's totally light? Or an ask board or something? So we've opened up the space. There is no right or wrong, good or bad. Very good, Karen. So
you.
have fun asking and receiving. Okay, cool. Anybody else? I know sometimes it's like you got free facilitation and coaching. You're like, I wish I had the right thing to ask her right now. And you're like, I can't figure it out. That's okay. That's okay. All righty. Well, we will end there. You will get an invitation to actualize your asks for 2023. You'll get a little information about the Phenomenal Woman 30-day, whatever I put on that email, you'll get. And if you have any questions, message me and I'd be glad to answer them. And if you want a free, I do 30-minute chat calls. Just message me and say, I want to talk to you for a few minutes, 30 minutes or whatever, so I can answer any questions and figure out where you should fit. Totally available. Okay. So what grand and glorious adventures can you have, create, be, and receive today?
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.